Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my friends. So today we are going to discuss how to configure the high-speed counter card for a PLC. So basically, we will consider these things for speed or position sensing uh, of some rotating mechanism where the SSI encoder is connected. That is the sensor to sense the position. So normally SSI this is a special type of protocol which is called master slave. So that basic of that I will discuss later in the subsequent video, and I will tell how the register level is coding is done there. Say you don't have PLC, okay, you have you have a microcontroller. So how to read that data, what are the hardwares are required to do that we will discuss later. But today we are going to discuss the same thing using a high speed counter card of Schneider. So we are using UnityPro to configure it. Even though this concept is more or less same for any other hardware like Siemens or ABB, Allen Bradley, Mitsubishi, Delta, whatever may be, but the concept will be more or less same. So here I am showing only the software part using UnityPro, but the same thing is applicable for TIA, totally integrated automation, RS logics, and everywhere. If you understand this concept, basically you can do it anywhere. Okay, so as I have the already told, I have the UnityPro. And one thing is very important, that you have to consider the particular version of the firmware of this CPU. So this is premium CPU P57 2634M, and the firmware version is 2.0. So now say in the sixth, this is the rack, that bus configuration in the rack backplane. So sixth slot is empty. Okay, now here I want to install a high-speed counter card, okay, in the sixth slot. So in hardware, basically in the PLC side, I have already installed. So now if you open the UnityPro, this kind of things will. And one more thing, this is not for a very basic things. This is for the people who are already familiar with UnityPro and this Schneider PLC. So this is the slot 6 slot where I installed that card. Now if you right click on that, there is an option will be coming which is this new device. If you click on that, so this window will appear. So as we are using the counting, this is the pulse counting, so if you expand it, these are the hardware will be showing. So for this particular version of the PLC, these 4 types of hardware will support. So we'll select any one from them. So you will be very careful to, when you are selecting the hardware with the existing software, so you have to consider any one among these 4, otherwise it will not work. Then I am selecting, say, for TSX CTY 2C, and select and click OK. If you click that, you see already in the 6th slot that CTY 2C that is appeared. Now if you double click on that, this kind of one window will appear. Now as if you see here, this when I was selecting that one, it is a 2-channel counter. Okay, so naturally you see here 0 and 1 channel is appeared. Now I will configure the each channel individually. Okay, so if you click on the channel 0, so here in the function there will be one drop down option. So here we have to select up down counting, and this option you have to select, and if you select and click next, so this window will appear. So here again you have to configure it, whether you will be using for counting pulse or whatever. Now if you click here, another drop down it will come like this. So as I told, we are sensing the position or the speed by SSI. So you select that. If you select that, then it is selected the absolute encoder, absolute SSI encoder. Now if you click in the configure, another window will come. Here all the things, because if you use the BAMR encoder, so that will be in gray code, and what will be the header bits, status bit, and this encoded data, whatever is 16 bit or 13 bit or 25 bit, all these things, this window it will be filled up, and the transmission speed and all these things, it will be filled up from the data sheet of the encoder. After that, if you click OK, after that you should click OK. Then similarly the same configuration is to be done for channel 1. Okay, once both the channel is configured, then again you click into that TSX CTY 2C, and here, because I want the data, I want the pulse, I want the position data, so you select percentage ID. You select percentage ID and click on upgrade grid. So here you see I have selected that percentage ID and upgrade grid. If you do that, you see now all the internal addresses is appear. So this percentage ID 0.6.0, that is the SSI data for the channel 1, and this percentage ID 06.1, that is the SSI data for channel 2. So how to connect the SSI encoder with the card, that connection configuration, it will be given in the data sheet of the card. So as per that you connect, there will be data plus, data minus, and all these things it will be there. So based on that you connect it, and because it's a differential data, that's why plus minus will be there. So if you connect it, and now if you configure it is like this. So anywhere in the program, if you call this percentage ID 0.6.0, so that SSI data will appear. Okay, so now I have configured this card. Now say I am showing one very small program. So what I am considering here, if the position data, that count is just crossing, anytime if it is crossing 200 count, then on memory variable I have defined, it will be high, and when it will be less than that, it will be 0. So I am calling this variable and writing a very simple program. It is in structured text. So this way you can configure the high speed counter card. So here the procedure I have explained, it is very clear and very simple for Schneider PLC. But the same kind of things, if you understand the SSI, what is SSI, you go through any standard book of communication, what is SSI, you will understand how it will work. So after that, any PLC you can configure these things very easily, I hope. I hope this video will be very useful for you. Any further question, I am sharing my WhatsApp number there, so you can text me always. I will be happy to help you. Thank you so much.